Hello everyone, I am Taureor, and as some of you may know already, I have recently been invited to PDXCon 2017 as a media guest. While there, I had a lot of fun, and also I managed to make 2 interviews. Now, I have never done any interviews before, and to be clear, I was interviewing someone, not the other way around. So I managed to do interviews with 2 game team members, and the other one will be released later when the time is appropriate. For now, let's talk about Steel Division. Unfortunately, the interview that I recorded was not very good quality because of the noise in the background, because I unfortunately had to do it in a very noisy room. So instead, I'm going to repeat what both me and the interviewed person says to make the sound clearer, while put on some Steel Division footage. Enjoy! Hello, I'm here with Alexis Le Dressay, the father of Steel Division. First, for our viewers that don't know the game yet, can you quickly summarize what it is, basically? Answer. I would say it's a realistic, real-time tactical game that is taking place in Normandy in 1944, and we're trying to depict, in the most authentic way, the battles, the experience of the battles, the tactics that were used at that time. I would say that is the major experience that we want to give, and the tactics that were used during World War II, we try to make them enjoyable, but also realistic. Question. And what is the genesis of the name Steel Division? Answer. In fact, when we started working on the game, what we really liked to give to the player was the freedom to choose factions or countries or, different things that are going to change the way you're going to play when you're playing multiplayer. Didn't want to have something that would not be rich enough, like, okay, you're going to play, choose your country, and your opposing side will always be Germany, or like having a few countries and stuff like this. And even on the Allied side, they have kind of the same units, even depending on the countries. And we thought on how we can give the richness that I was talking about, and we thought about the idea of divisions. We started working on the game, creating some divisions that have a specific rotation of units, like number of soldiers, experience of soldiers, and so on. And so a division became something very important in the game, and that's why we went with the name Steel Division, because it really shapes one of the main values of the game, because you have to pick up a division and create a battle group from this division. We have 18 different divisions in the game. They are all very different in the way you play them. They all have pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses, and I think that's one of the really fun things when you play the game. Comment. Now I want to interject here for a little bit, just in case you haven't seen the division system yet. Basically, you don't just choose, for example, the German side, you choose a specific division of their army, and the divisions differ a lot with the unit composition, the unit experience, and, for example, how many units of different kinds you can take to the battlefield. So, for example, a Panzer division will give you the ability to deploy more tanks than an infantry-focused division, which does give the game variety. Okay, back to the interview. Question. Can you tell us about the campaigns that are in the game? Answer. We tried to create something that is different from what you can find in traditional RTS. My feeling is, usually when you play an RTS, and that is a taste I don't like anymore, is because the player is, facing one AI, and it's a 1 versus 1 experience where there are scripts and that's all. So the idea was you are a commander within a big battle, and you have allied commanders fighting with you, participating all in a big battle. We have created 3 campaigns meaning 3 operations, that are covering several days of battle. All the battles are persistent, all the losses that you're going to suffer will have an impact on the next battle and so on, and at the end of the day on whether the military operation is a success or failure. Question. And what country divisions? I mean, I know that there is a Polish division fighting for the Allies in the game, but what other country divisions have you included? Answer. Yes, we have, of course, American, English, Canadians, Polish and French, and we also have Scottish. This is on the Allied side. And on the German side, only Germany, but some of the divisions are Osttruppen, so Ukrainian soldiers or Russian soldiers, and we have some Italians as well, but these are all the countries we have. Question. Alright, and what are your plans for developing the game further? Do they focus right now on improving what we already have, or rather on expanding and, for example, adding more missions? Answer. We are very curious to see when the game is going to be released how the players experience the solo campaign. We have 3 operations, but in Normandy there are many more, so maybe that is something we will want to cover and to extend. Also, there are other divisions that were fighting in Normandy. We depicted 18 divisions in the game, and this is also something that we are thinking about. It really depends on how the community is playing the game. We really believe that when we release the game, this is a start of something new in terms of developing it. Like, how can we create a great community around the game and have this community enjoying it and have a great amount of content? This will also depend on the success of the game. You know, if nobody plays the game. But so far, the players really like it, so we have great hopes for the future of Steel Division. Question. In those missions, apart from basic objectives, there are also bonus additional objectives. Can you talk a bit about how they will impact the whole campaign, the whole operation? Answer. For instance, some of the bonus operations will allow you to rally troops, so these units will come into your division and then you will have more units for the whole campaign. Like I was saying, everything is persistent, so every loss can make things worse and worse after days of fights. So the secondary objectives can be like, do you need more units? Will you dare to save those guys? Or if you destroy those enemy troops, they will not be able to be there on the second day of the fight because you encircled them or do things like this. We have different kinds of secondary objectives like this, but always there is an impact on what will happen in the operation in a dynamic way. Question. So persistent losses apply to your forces, but do they also apply to the enemy? So for instance, if you kill more enemy troops, will the enemy have less troops in the next mission? Answer. Some of. The thing is, in the second mission, if a new division or brigade has been sent to the battlefield, then it means that it will have no impact. But most of the fights, you can really harm the enemy, and then the next mission will be easier. Question. Can you give some advice for beginners? Answer. Well, we have a boot camp. In the boot camp you have several very short missions that explain the tactics used during World War II, which are obvious for some players, but other ones might not know how to use some tactics, even if it's better to use them. It also explains some of the mechanics of the game, like how you call in reinforcements, how you call in air support, and stuff like this, which could be abstract because it's a game. And after those 7 missions, you should have the tools to really enjoy the solo campaign, the skirmish, or the multiplayer, and have great tools to play well and not be frustrated by not understanding all the stuff. Alright, and that is all of the interview. Personally, I would recommend that you try out Steel Division if you are interested in realistic combat situation. My own take on the game so far is, I haven't played it a lot, but from what I have played, it is difficult but rewarding, and one thing that stands out to me is that you really need to use all the units on the battlefield, and it's very much a skill game. So if you do something right, it really feels like it's your achievement. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.